Hello, welcome to Scraps and More, and this is my very first video that I'm doing, and today I'm going to show you how to make your first Sparkle Christmas Buddy Christmas table ornament. Basically, he looks a lot like this. He's handmade. He's made out of plush felt material, with having a few of the Christmas ornaments and stuff that you can add as decor. And I will show in this segment, not in this particular video, but on the video that I have, I will show you how to make these very simple tags. Or unless you have tags of your own that you'd like to decorate and add, you can do so as well. I'm using plush material, plush felt material. You can use just about any color. The color I've decided to use to cut out my pattern for my hat is the red color, or like a burgundy type color for that. All you need to do is just basically cut one piece is all you need for that particular size. We'll put these aside. On the body piece, what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a whip stitch. And yes, these are all done by hand. I prefer to do them by hand. They do take a little bit more time, but when you use the sewing machine, it actually will bring down the size of your snowman, and we don't want to do that. Once it's turned inside and out, basically it's going to look a little bit like this. You will have two insert creases on both sides. And of course, because this is kind of heavy already, I have already put poly pellets down at the bottom. You can buy those either at Joann Fabrics or at Michaels. They're hypoallergenic, especially for those that maybe are allergic to any kind of feathers or any other kind of fiber in that. I do have a larger container, but to give you an example, these are basically the poly pellets that you want to use. They come in a clear bag, and you want to get a hold of something along that line. So when you go to fill those, which this is basically about, and the easiest way to put your poly filler in is I found that I like to keep my Chinese sticks each time I dine home or out. Clean them really good, but they act really good as a good poker. So basically I just put in poly filler, and when you fill it, you want to stuff it down. I usually use the flat side, not the pokey side, because that way you don't want to poke through on your material. And I just kind of press it down. You want to get it kind of firm in there, somewhat with the body, so then that way it starts to fill out. If there's any bulkiness in that, you can reshape it with your hand. I have lots of needles here, so that way it makes it easier to go from pattern to pattern. On your head cover piece, you want to make a running stitch again around the whole outer edge. Make it kind of wide. You don't want to make the stitches too small. We are going to create a pucker, but whenever you pull it, it will pull all the way through. And we're going to use styrofoam balls as the head to make the face part of it, and this is basically pretty simple. You can use an inexpensive powder, cosmetic powder applicator in that. It doesn't matter as far as the color, that's a preference call. What I've done with this is on the side that I've chosen that I want for the face, I've taken the brush, take the little dab of the color that I need, and place it into the area that I want to highlight for the cheeks. As far as the eyes go, what I like to use for the eyes is the black peppercorn. These, now if I can find it here. What I do is I like to use toothpicks. They're very easy, they're inexpensive, and they're fast. So what you're going to do is you're just going to pull one from the box. Set this aside. And we're going to use a set of pliers or wire cutters, excuse me. And we're going to cut just the tip of this off. So then that way we have just the little end of it. You can also cut the other end when you're going to make another one, but for now, if you want to even have a flat nose and you don't want a tip, you can use the middle of it. So again, that's another preference call. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to color this, and the easiest way to color this is by using a permanent Sharpie marker, and I've chosen the dark brown. You can use black if you want to, but I just like the dark brown because it actually gives it a better look to it. So what you do is basically you color the head to the body of the snowman. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some hot glue, preferably on the bottom. So we're going to add some down here and be a little bit generous on the glue. Make sure when you set this in here on the polyfiller that you try not to get around on the neck part of it where we've actually used the running stitch. And we're just going to set it down in there. And it should set pretty decent as far as in the neck. If you get the plush felt, both sides are going to basically be about the same. In the cream color, it would be one is going to be a little bit flatter and the other one's going to have more of a soft plush feel to it. So it's going to be up to you to decide on how you want to place this together. Once you have your pieces cut out and you place them together, we're going to do another whip stitch for the rim and the piece. Put that aside. And we're going to whip stitch it together where it's going to end up pretty much like sprinkle some around. And you don't need a whole lot because, like I said, it does go a long ways. And you can use your fingers to kind of move it around to kind of fill in a iridescent color. And we're just going to sprinkle around on the body area first. We're just going to use our fingers, smooth that kind of all around so that way it kind of grabs onto the material. Just fill just a little bit on the inside of it. You can set your hat pretty much anywhere that you want. I like to have mine just slightly tilted off to the side. You want to hold that for like 15-20 seconds or so to make sure that it makes that contact on for the back, just to kind of hold it into place. Then we're going to add the same glitter, the Jasper glitter that we used for the hat, and this just kind of arm out and kind of lay it in the position of where you'd like to have it set. Now, in order for the hand to come up, we want to make sure that he hangs on to this, that he's not going to let it go. We're going to bring his arm around, figure out pretty much where we want him to hang on to something. Once, I think right there's actually a really good position. Then we're going to come back with the hot glue, put a little bit right where it's supposed to be, wrap his hand around it, and he should be able to hang on to it fairly well. On his hat,